Okay, dear students, today we'll start new chapter that is electricity. My dear student, this chapter is very important. In board exams, mostly this chapter is having numericals. See, my dear student, if your concepts are clear and you know how to use any formula at any place and how, so for sure you will get good marks in this chapter. So, okay, we will begin this chapter. Electricity. First of all, what is electricity? Electricity is a type of energy. It is a type of energy. Most important, we use this energy for this stuff. We make electrical energy. Very important. Electricity, you can even say this term to this, that is electrical energy. Electricity, you can also say it electrical energy. So very important, what is electricity? Electricity is a type of energy and we make it to do work. For example, we use it in washing machine, refrigerator, fans and all. Very important, what is this energy made up of, or what is the cause of this energy? What is the cause of this energy? So very important, cause of this energy is current. Cause of this energy is current. For example, don't worry, we will see what is current. Any material or any stuff having a flow of current, any stuff, any material having a flow of current, then that material is having energy called as electric energy, or this stuff is having electricity. For electricity in any material, this must be present, that is current must be present. So first of all we need to see what is a current. So very important, to understand current we need to understand charges. Don't worry, electricity is a type of energy. This is because of current. So we need to understand what is current. So very important, to understand what is current, we first need to understand charges. See, my dear students, we have already gone through this topic charges in 9th standard. Then also we will go through it, don't worry. Charges, charges is physical property. It is physical property of any material. Very important, very important. Any substance, any material, any matter, all of them have charge. All of them have charge. Okay. This charge is of two type, that is negative charge or positive charge. And yes, if that matter is neither negatively charged, means not having a negative charge, neither positively charged, not having a positive charge, then that material is said to be having zero charge, or we say it neutral, So very important, what is charge? Charge is a physical property of any material. Each and every material, metals, non-metals, gases, semiconductors, each and every material is having this charge in their bodies. Okay. Most important, either it is negative, either it is positive, or that whole body is having zero charge, that is that body is neutral. Very important, negatively charged substance in anything is electron, and positively charged material is proton. See, my dear students, very important. Now to understand this charge, I will use a special term that this charge is negatively charged, yes or no, and another charge is positively charged. I can even say anybody, even if it is not a complete electron, it is also having many protons and all, but even though if it is having negative charge, so it is negatively charged ions or ion. And if something is positive, it doesn't mean that it is only having protons, it can also have electrons. But if after all overall it is having proton or positive charge, sorry, positive charge, then it is positively charged ion. Positively charged ion. My dear students, again see, charge, it is of two types, that is negative and positive. Anything positive is called as positively charged ion. One of them example is proton. Proton is a positively charged ion, but it doesn't mean that only and only proton is positively charged. For example, Na plus sodium. Okay, when it loses the electron, we have already done this topic in 9th standard. It becomes positively charged ion. Negatively charged ion, that is negatively charged ion. One of negatively charged ion is electron. Moreover, Cl minus, that is chlorine gas, after gaining an electron it becomes negatively charged. Very important, charge, it is a physical property of any material. Very important, it is of two types, negative and positive. And if it is neither showing a negative charge effect or neither showing a positive charge effect, then for sure that body is having zero charge, or that is neutral. Very important. What is the unit of charge? Very important. See, my dear students, basically, whenever in physics you learn any new term, you must know what is its unit. Charge, unit of charge is coulomb. Okay, represented by C. Many times charge will also be represented by this letter Q. Okay, one electron is having a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. For proton, this is 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb, but positive charge. Okay, this is very important question. If one electron is having 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb, you can see this is a very small value, that is negative minus sign here. So one electron is having very small value of coulomb. So originally in a single coulomb, how many electrons are there? My dear student, very important, one electron having 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So how many electrons will be having 1 coulomb? So just divide this 1 coulomb by this value. So 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19. This will be around, see, this minus 19 will go, it will come here at the place of numerator, this will become positive, and then by dividing 1 by 1.6, what we'll be getting is, this will be 6.25 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons. My dear students, very important, 6.25, very important, 6.25 into 10 raised to the power 18 number of electrons constitute 1 coulomb. See, so many numbers of electron. Very important question, my dear students. Originally, 1 coulomb charge is very large value. Very large value. Okay. So charge, it is a physical quantity. It may be either positive or may be negative. See, now we need to understand current. What is current? Okay, dear students, we will take a material. Let's take any metal. Let's take any metal. Each and every material have charge fixed, because it is a material property. Any material for sure it is having charge. See, we know if this is a metal, it is having free electrons at its last shell, outermost shell. So there are many electrons in the atoms. Okay, so this is charge. For simplicity I am taking a metal and it is having electrons. It is also having protons, but don't worry, they will not be able to move. For simplicity, just as of now take electrons. Okay, so what happens is that when all of these charges start flowing, they generate current. Very important. What is current? Current is flow of charges. What is current? Current is flow of charges. In any metal, if these electrons start flowing in a fixed direction, all of the electrons start flowing in a same direction, what they will generate is electric current. And when these all flow and current is generated, it means this material is having a hidden energy known as electricity. Very important. Now, my dear student, it doesn't mean that only and only, see what word I have used is that charges. For example, if there is a salt solution NaCl, it means it is having Na plus positively charged and Cl minus negatively charged. Very important. Not only this negative charge, if this positive charge is also flowing, for sure in this solution there will be a current. Very important. What is current? Current is flow of charges. Whether that charge is positive or negative depends on the material. Okay. Very important. Charge, when charges flow, what they generate is current. Very important. When any material is having current inside it, for sure it will have a hidden energy called as electricity. Why I am using the word hidden? Because you can't see it. Okay. Flow of charges produces current, and this current is what the main reason behind the electricity. Very important. Now we will try to understand the concept of current more deeply and clearly. Current. Charge. I am taking metal, it means it is having electrons. When all these electrons start flowing, they generate current. Okay. So what is current? Flow of charges. Very important. If more charges are flowing and they are flowing very much fast, so this gives that yes, more current is there, yes or no. So the perfect definition for flow of charges is rate of flow of charges is called current. Very important. We use symbol I for current. What is current? Rate of flow of charges. How much charge is flowing in how much time? Okay, dear students, charges flow, they generate current. But how much charge is flowing in how much time? That gives the perfect definition for current. Okay, so current equals to charge that is flowing in the conductor upon time taken to flow the charge. Very important. Current I, symbol I am using I, equals to charge, that is symbol I am using Q upon T. Very important. Current equals to charge upon time. So very important. Current, unit of current is ampere and symbol we use is A. Very important, dear students. How much charge is flowing in how much time? This gives me the perfect definition of current. I equals to q by t. If someone asks you what is 1 ampere current, what is 1 ampere current? We know the unit for ampere is, sorry, current is A, unit for charge is C, and unit for time is second. Okay, very important. When 1 coulomb charge, when 1 coulomb charge flows in any conductor for 1 second, that is, see, 1 upon 1 equals to 1, yes or no? So when 1 coulomb charge flows for 1 second, then it generates a current of 1 ampere. So what is 1 ampere? See my dear student, this is very simple. I equals to q by t. If I put q as 1 and t as 1, so 1 upon 1 will be 1, yes or no? So what is 1 ampere current? When 1 coulomb charge flows for 1 second. When 1 coulomb charge flows for 1 second, it generates a current of 1 ampere. Very important. Okay, dear students. See, one more question. I equals to q by t. What is I? Unit of I is A, that is ampere. Unit of charge is C, and unit of time is second. Very important. Ampere is equal to coulomb per second. Very important. This ampere unit is equal to coulomb per second unit. Very important. You must know this. Ampere unit constitutes of coulomb and time, that is coulomb per second. Okay, my dear students. Flow of charges generates current, and this current in any material leads to generation of a hidden electricity called as electricity. Okay. See, very important. Charges are there. Yes. When they flow, they generate current. This current in any material, this current in any material generates hidden electricity, sorry, hidden energy called as electricity. Called as electricity. See, my dear students, power station is there. Yes or no? Narmada power station, and this is our house or home, sweet home. These charges start flowing from power station, so this energy is at power station. Okay, now by conductors or wires, these charges come at our home. So now I am having flowing charges at my home. So as I am having flowing charges at my home, it means at my home I am having current, and if I am having current, it means at my home I am having energy, that is called as electricity. Very important, dear students, concepts must be clear. Very important, we already know there are two types of material, conductors and insulators. But my dear students, in 10th standard I will now start using the word poor conductors. So conductors are the material which allow the flow of current very easily. Okay, and insulators are the material which does not allow the flow of current very easily. But very important, there are many such situations in which current may be made to flow or can be made to flow through insulators, but those situations are very tough to be created. Okay, now we will see what is potential. Who is doing this work to make the charges flow? Very important. In 9th standard we have already done. Anything will nothing move. This is an electron. It will not move until and unless a force is applied on it. Then only it will flow. Or Until and unless a work is done on it, it will not flow. So very important, my dear students, what is potential? Very important. This concept you must understand. This is very important. What is a potential? Let's take an example. Okay, see, dear students, charges. There are two types of charges: positive and negative. Opposite charges. Opposite charges. As we already know, opposite charges, that is positive and negative. They all attract each other. And same charges, or we can say like charges. Opposite charges are also known as unlike charges. Same charges or like charges, that is positive or negative, they all repel each other. Okay, here they are applying a force of attraction for each other, and when there are like charge, that is positive or negative, they repel each other. You must know this. So now see, what is a potential? See, my dear friends, let's assume there is a positive charge here. Okay, and very far away at infinity there is another positive charge. I am using this word infinity. Why? Because see, positive repel each other, but it doesn't mean that this force of attraction is each and every place. No, they can show their effect only in a particular field called as electric field. Don't worry, you don't need to go in that. As we ourselves can see that magnets attract and repel each other, but it doesn't mean that every magnet at every place is showing their effect. Obviously not. They need to come closer to show their effect. So I am taking any positive charge in infinity. It means as of now there is no force of repulsion. Now what I have done is that I have started doing work on it. I am applying a force and now bringing it here, from here. Now the repulsion has begun because I am coming closer. Here. And I brought it at this point. I brought this from infinity to here, yes or no? For sure, I need to do work. I have done some work, that's why from infinity it came to this place, yes or no? Very important, this work done is only known as potential. What is potential? Potential is the work done to bring any charge from infinity to any point. Very important. Potential means work done. Very important. What is potential? Potential is work done on what thing it is being done? This work is being done on charge. Very important. See, for example, let's take one more example. If there is a negative charge and at infinity I am having some another negative charge, if I want to bring it from this point to this point, for sure it will not happen automatically. In physics, we all know if something is at rest and I want to change its position from any point to another point, I need to do work. So what I have done is that I started doing work from this point and done my work till this point. So for sure I have done some work. This work is only called as potential. Very important. What is potential? Potential is work done per unit charge. Means how much work is done on how much charge, that is known as potential. Potential is the work done per unit charge. Very important. Potential equals to work done. Work done on what? Work done on charge. Very important. Potential equals to work done upon charge. Unit of potential is volt, V-O-L-T, not watt. Don't get confused in these two units, dear students, very important. Potential, unit of potential is volt, equals to work done, unit of work done is joule, and upon charge, unit of work done is, charge is coulomb. So what is volt? Volt equals to joule per coulomb. Very important. What is 1 volt? Again, what is 1 volt? No issue. 1 upon 1 is 1. So what is 1 volt? When 1 joule of work is done on 1 coulomb charge, it is called as 1 volt. What is 1 volt? When 1 joule of work is done. When 1 joule of work is done on 1 coulomb charge, it is known as 1 volt. Very important, my dear students. Now second thing, and what is potential difference? What is potential difference? Obviously the word difference comes, it means we need to compare any two things. We need to compare any two things. For example, there is a positive charge and here is another positive charge. I brought it, I had done some work and brought it to a position A. Position A. So I have done some work, yes or no? So here the work done is VA. V I am representing the potential, okay? VA. Now for example, let's assume that I have brought this positive charge from here to this point B. ठीक है? Let's say here the work done is C. Different are the positions. I have to do different amount of work. Yes or no? If from here to here I am bringing something, I have to do work. If I am taking this stuff from here to here, this much, for sure I need to do more work. Yes or no? So here the work done is, or the potential is VA. I have done VA work to bring it to point A, or to bring it at point B I have done a work of VB. Very important, these two are different work done. So the difference between these two work done is called as potential difference. VB minus VA. Work done to bring any charge from infinity to point B minus work done to bring any charge from infinity to point A. This will give me potential difference. Very important. VAB. What is potential difference? Potential difference is the difference in the work done between any 2 points. Got it, my dear students? Yes or no? Very simple. Work done to bring any charge to any point and work done to bring any charge at another point. The differences of the work done is called as potential difference. Very important. Potential difference is always between 2 points. Potential difference is always between 2 points. Okay, very important. If someone say point A is also this and point B is also this, VA VB will be same and the potential difference will be 0. At the same point, the potential difference is always 0. If there are two different points, yes, for sure there will be some potential difference. Okay. Electric circuit. Electric circuit. What is electric circuit? This is the path in which the current flows. Simple definition, simple and sweet. Path in which current flows. For example, Let's say for example, this is my battery of my cell. Cell means my mobile phone, yes or no? From my mobile phone there is a screen. Okay, the current is going into screen. From my mobile phone there is a camera. As you know, I am doing recording. See, in this recording time camera is also getting current. Okay, screen is also getting current, and again that current goes back to battery. Very important. Yes, very important thing, dear students. Very important thing. If electrons are flowing in this direction, then the direction of conventional current is this one. Negative charge direction is this side, then current will be flowing in this side. Very important. The charge of positive ions, flow of the direction of the positive ions is taken as the direction of current, or the direction opposite to the flow of negative ions is taken as the current. Never get confused. So current is going in this direction. If I am telling current in this direction, means positive ions are going in this direction and negative ions are going in this direction. So current in this direction means electrons are going in camera, in screen, recording. Even then, if I am recording memory card, then this current will also go to my memory card and this. So this is the electric circuit. Means I am showing the path in which current is flowing. Get it? For simple, my dear students, this is the only battery which is creating potential difference. Potential difference means this battery is the work doing element or source of work. This battery is giving potential difference. What is potential or potential? Work done. This battery is doing work. What work? It is taking the electrons, pushing them and making to flow. Very important. This is the main thing which is doing the work. So this is electric circuit, path in which electric current flows. See, my dear students, in any metropolitan city, each and every street is having electric connection. For say, if you and me are engineers and we are having a talk, which line is going in which place, it doesn't mean you will take me to each and every place, each and every street. You will show me a diagram. You will show me a diagram on a chart. So that diagram is known as electric circuit diagram. If I am representing this electric circuit in very easy and simple way, what is electric circuit diagram? Electric circuit, the path in which current flows. At your home, if there is a wire, it means it is electric circuit. Why? Because that is the path of the current. And what is electric circuit diagram? Electric circuit diagram is an easy representation of electric circuit. To represent electric circuit very easily on a piece of a paper, we do make electric circuit diagram. And when we make electric circuit diagram, we use symbols of electric components. For example, we are having a cell like this. This is positive terminal and this is negative terminal. Symbol for cell is this. This is positive and this is negative. I will be using this symbol. I will not draw this complete cell again and again in any circuit diagram. I will very easily represent it by this one. Battery is combination of cells. Battery is combination of cell means two or more number of cells create battery. Wire, very simple way, a single straight line. I will be showing wire like this. For bulb, I will be using a simple diagram like this. So these are the symbols of electric components. I use these symbols of electric components in electric circuit diagram to represent anything very easily. For example, cell, that is source of energy. providing the potential or doing the work to make flow of charges. This is positive terminal and this is negative terminal. Here it is a bulb, here it is switch. See, you can see this is the electric circuit, or this wire is showing the path of the current. If I switch off or complete the circuit, from positive terminal current will start flowing. Very important. From positive terminal current will start flowing, that is positive charge will start flowing. As the current will reach this, the bulb will glow. Very important. And from this it will enter into the battery back. Or you can say electrons will flow through this path, go into the bulb filament will start glowing, and my circuit will be complete. Electric circuit, path of the current, electric circuit diagram, easy representation. Okay, dear students, now we will see Ohm's law. Very important, one of the most important topics of this chapter, Ohm's law. Ohm's law. I will let you explain how. See, let's say, my dear students, first of all you need to understand current, that is flow of charges in any conductor. It is measured by an instrument called ammeter. What is ammeter? A device used to measure current. Okay, ammeter is used to measure current, volt or voltage, which is being provided by cell, battery, and at our home it is given by that switchboard outside. You might have seen too many huge cables coming into our switchboard or main power supply. Those are providing the voltage to us. Voltage, it is measured by voltmeter. It is measured by voltmeter. So what is a voltmeter? Voltmeter is a device used to measure voltage. Okay, very important. Ohm's law. See, my dear students, okay, I have taken same conductor, but here I have taken a cell of 5 volt, here I have taken a battery of 20 volt, and here I took battery of 50 volt. And I measured current in this conductor. The conductor is same at all the three cases. What I observed is that at 5 volt, it is giving some around 10 ampere current. I'm just letting you know, I'm just giving you the example. At 20 volt, it is giving around 50 ampere current. At 50 volt, what I saw is that I measured in ammeter and I got that it is giving me 80 ampere current. So then I removed the battery. I did 0 volt. I removed the battery or cell. What I saw is that no current is flowing in this. So very important. By these experiments, I came to know that the current in this conductor is depending on the value of the battery voltage. That is, current is depending on potential difference of the battery or the cell, or potential provided by the cell. When we increase this, the value of current increasing potential difference, current increased. Decreasing potential difference, current decreased. Making potential difference 0, made current 0. So very important. This is only our Ohm's law. See, my dear students, just written in front of you, let's see how to write this Ohm's law. Very important. What I get to know is that the current flowing in conductor was directly proportional to the amount of potential difference we are applying across its end. Don't worry. Let's see. This is any conductor. This is any conductor. Okay. And at its ends, means at its ends, we have connected a battery. Okay. What I came to know is that obviously this battery is having some potential difference it is applying across its ends. See, there are two different points. Yes or no, my dear students? So two different points, it means there is a potential difference. When I connect this battery and the circuit is complete, I came to know that current is flowing in this. This is the potential difference and this is the current flowing. And this is the current flowing in the conductor. So what Ohm's law says that this current flowing in conductor is depending on this potential difference. How much volt battery we are putting across or joining across its ends. Very important. This current was depending on this voltage. I was increasing this voltage, current was increasing. I was decreasing this voltage, current was decreasing. It means, now very important statement. See my dear students, you have to write this only. Current flowing in conductor is directly proportional, means depending on this, directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its end. Current directly proportional, potential difference. The temperature must remain same. Why? We will see later on. Ohm's law states that current flowing in a conductor, very important, current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends. Current flowing in a conductor, see, this much is enough. This is only the Ohm's law. Current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends. Very important, directly proportional means if V is increased, current will increase. If V is decreased, current will decrease. And if V is made 0, current will also become 0. Very important, the temperature and physical situations must remain same. Very important, this you need to understand and add to. And the temperature must remain same. Okay my dear students, now very important, see, I proportional to V, I have written is at V proportional to I. If I want to remove this symbol of proportionality, very important, this is rule of physics. If I want to remove this symbol of proportionality and want to put equals to here, I need to add a constant. Very important, I need to add a constant. So V equals to IR. That constant I have taken is R. This is our Ohm's law. Current flowing is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. The temperature must remain same. This is the main reason. The temperature must remain same. So very important. Now we will talk about this R. Ohm's law you might have understand. You must or you have to understand. That's no other option available. Okay, my dear student, from Ohm's law we have get to know that V equals to IR. R is a constant here and R is known as resistance. Very important. R is known as resistance. Very important. What is resistance? My dear students, whenever electrons flow, they try to flow due to inertia. You know what is inertia? It is the ability to stop anything. If something is in rest, it would surely try to be in rest. They are having a mass, negligible mass, then negligible inertia, but they are having some inertia. When charges flow, they are being opposed. Their charge is being, their flow is being opposed. Very important. Any material, in any material, if current is there, means charges are flowing, that material would try to stop this flow of charge. Very important. This is a material property. Don't worry. Each and every material opposes. If there is a flow of charges, then the material would try to oppose this flow of charges. Why? There are many reasons. If charge is flowing, then inertia will try to stop that material. Second thing is friction. See, when anything moves, for sure it is having some friction, so it will try to oppose this. This friction will try to oppose this charge flow. Second thing, collisions happen when all these charges move. For example, when these all charges are moving in this direction, they collide to each other, and this collision becomes a barrier in their flow. So very important, this opposition is only known as resistance. What is resistance? It is the opposition created by material in flow of charges. In flow of charges, or you can say very simple language, what is resistance? It is the opposition to current. Resistance, it is a property of material. It is a property of material which opposes the flow of current. Very important. If current is flowing, that material will try to oppose this flow of current. Very important. If this opposition is very large, current cannot flow. The perfect answer are insulators. What happens is that if this current is flowing or charges are flowing, that material always try to stop this flow. The reason is that friction always opposes, yes or no. But if this charge is flowing, if this is a conductor, this flowing power is more and this opposing power is less, because of which very easily charges flow. But in insulators, this charge is flowing but this opposing power is very large, because of which charge are not able to flow and there is no current in insulators. This is the main reason. It means insulators are having high resistance, means high opposing power, and conductors are having less opposing or less resistance. Very important, students. Now, what are the factors on which this resistance depends? What is the unit of resistance? Very important. R is resistance. Unit of resistance is ohm. OHM. Very important. Ohm's law. We get to know about this thing. Ohm. Symbol for this is 10. Sorry, this one. If there is opposition of 10 ohm and if material is having a resistance of 30 ohm, it means if current is flowing, it is doing a opposition, and if current is flowing in this, the opposition is large. Why? resistance is more. Okay dear students, in circuit diagram we will show resistance by this symbol. This is the electric symbol, this is the symbol for resistance, very important. When we will be drawing electric circuit diagrams, this is the symbol for resistance. resistance Resistance unit of resistance is ohm and symbol used is this. See my dear students, on what factors this resistance depends on? This resistance depends on what factors? Very important. Factors on which resistance depends. See my dear students, resistance depends on length. Let's see how. If this is any conductor of length L and this is same material conductor of length 50 centimeter, it is of 10 centimeter. This is electron, this is electron. In this short length, it has to travel only this much path. In this conductor, it has to travel long path, long, or we can say large path. For this electron, from this point to this point coming is more easier for this electron to come from this to this point. Why? Because this electron, see, here it is going to get opposition only up to this length. But if this electron wants to come to from here to here, it has to face more opposition of this path. Second thing, more is the path, more will be the obstacles, more will be the opposition. So very important, resistance is directly proportional to length. More is the length, more is the resistance. Second, area of cross section. Area of cross section, very important. What does this area of cross section mean? Is the narrowness and broadness of the conductor. This is area of cross section, very important. If there are 10 electrons and they have to enter this gate, and there are 10 electrons, they have to enter this gate. If the gate is bigger, it is more easy to enter, and if the gate is smaller, it is tough. Very simple. If you're all of a sudden I ask whole class to get out, all of you will run like electrons. But if the gate is small, it will take time or it will be difficult for you to go through the gate. Yes or no? But if I made a very huge gate and I open it, very easily you all will go. So the thing is that if the cross section area is smaller, electron flow is less, and if the area of cross section is larger, the electron flow is more. That is, more is the electron flow, more will be the current. More is the current means less is the resistance. So very important, resistance depends on area of property. It is inversely proportional. Inversely proportional means more is the area of cross section, less is the resistance, and less is the area of cross section, more will be the resistance. You might have seen the cables being used, huge this type of poles, electric poles you might have seen, and cables are there. These cables are very broad and wide. Why? So that easily current can flow through that. That's why. So very important, resistance directly proportional to length and resistance inversely proportional to area of cross section. Resistance directly proportional to length and resistance inversely proportional to area of cross section. If you combine both of these, resistance directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area of cross section. So resistance depends on these two things. One more thing is that on which this resistance depends. Let's say If I want to remove this sign of proportionality and want to put equals to, so R L by A, I have to add one constant, and this constant I have added is resistivity. Very important. Resistance equals to resistivity. This is known as rho, RHO, and resistivity. It is resistivity. So resistance equals to resistivity into length upon area. Very important, this is formula for resistance. Resistance depends on length, on area, and resistivity. What is resistivity? It is property of material. Property of material. It means resistance also depends on material. If it is a conductor or it is insulator, it depends on that. Getting it, my dear students? Very important. Resistance goes to rho L by A. On what factors resistance depends? Just formula में जो भी लिखा है, what the things we have written in formula, it depends on them only. Resistance depends on length, inversely proportional to area. It depends on area of cross section, and it also depends on resistivity. Means it also depends on material. Now we will see what is resistivity. Resistivity. Resistance equals to rho L by A. Resistance depends on resistivity, length and area. Now we will see how resistance depends on temperature. We are telling that resistance depends on resistivity, it depends on length and it depends on area. First of all, we need to understand this thing, resistivity. R equals to rho L by A. If this A goes this side, it will get multiplied by R, and this A comes and it will come in denominator. So R into A upon L equals to resistivity. What is resistivity? Resistivity equals to resistance into area upon length. Now what is unit of resistivity? Very important. Resistivity equals to resistance into area upon length. Resistivity equals to resistance into what is area? Area is length into breadth upon length, L cat. So R equals to resistivity equals to resistance into breadth. Very important. What is unit of resistance? It's ohm. And what is unit of breadth? It is meter. So very important. Unit of resistivity is ohm meter. See my dear student, this resistivity is a material property. This resistivity is a material property. Each and every material is having its own resistivity. See my dear student, very important question. Resistivity, its unit is ohm meter. It depends on material. See, R equals to rho L by A. If L equals to 1 meter and area of cross section to 1 meter square, put the values here. R equals to rho L 1 A 1. 1 by 1 is 1. So R equals to rho into 1. What is rho into 1? It's rho. So R equals to rho. Very important. What is resistivity? Resistivity is resistance only. But when resistivity is equal to resistance of that material, when the length is of 1 meter and area of cross section is 1 meter square. Very important. This is a material property. Resistivity, it is resistance only. Okay. It is resistance only if the length of conductor is 1 meter. Very important. See my dear students, if length of conductor is 1 meter and area of cross section is 1 meter square, so here the resistance will be equal to resistivity. This resistance depends on length, depends on area of cross section and resistivity. What is resistivity? Resistivity is nothing but a material property. Very important. See, my dear students, resistance equals to resistivity. More will be the resistivity, more will be the resistance, less will be the resistivity, less will be the resistance. There are three types of material: conductors and insulators. See, my dear students, in conductor current flows very easily, in insulator current does not flow. Reason: conductors are having less resistivity. Very important. Less is the resistivity, less is the resistance, because of which current flows. Insulators, they have very high resistivity, and due to high resistivity they have high resistance and current is not able to flow. So conductors, less resistivity, insulators, high resistivity. There are few materials known as semiconductors. Semi means half. They are half acting like conductor and they are also half acting like insulator. So their resistivity is in between the resistivity of conductors and insulators, means they are having a medium resistivity. What is medium resistivity? I mean to say is that they are having resistivity more than conductors but less than insulators. Such material are known as semiconductor. Very important if you will be doing engineering, electronics and all. This is very important. Gallium and silicon are best semiconductors. Our whole electronics are depending on these two material only. Very important: conductor, semiconductor and insulator. See, my dear students, in Ohm's law we saw that at last I told that temperature must remain same. See, what happens? This resistance also depends on temperature. How? Resistance equals to resistivity rho L by A, length, area, and this resistivity. Actually, this thing is affected by temperature. See how? Conductors are mostly made up of metals, so they are having free electrons. Electrons are free, already they are free. See, my dear students, when I heat this material, temperature rises and this temperature increases the speed or increases. See, whenever we heat anything, it means we are just giving a vibrational energy. And when this vibrational energy increases a lot, it gets a kinetic energy or it starts moving. As these are already free, and if I heat them, they will move in very fast speed and they will start colliding with each other. They will start colliding with each other, and more will be the collision, more will be the resistance. If you are going somewhere on bike, if you will keep on having accidents, you will not be able to go. And if the path is open, very easily you can go. So when we heat in conductors, conductors are already having free electrons. So when we heat, these free electrons start gaining speed and they start colliding with each other, and this collision increases resistance. So very important, on increasing the temperature, conductors resistance increases. Very important. And in insulators there are no free electrons. Very important. If this is an insulator, there are no free electrons, they are bounded. So when I heat this, slowly these electrons start vibrating. Slowly, so much vibration will be there that they will become free. And as they become free, they all start flowing in the same direction, and when they all start flowing in the same direction, very easy, it will be seen. This heat or increasing temperature in insulators has made the electrons free, and if we are having free electrons, current starts flowing and resistance decreases. Why there was resistance? Because electrons were not able to move. This heating made them move, so the resistance decreased. They were bounded. By heating, this boundation ended, means resistance decreased. So on heating insulators, resistance decreases, very important. In case of conductors, that is metals, the resistance increases on heating, and in case of insulators, the resistance decreases. Best examples are non-metals. One more best example, see, lightning. This is ground and this is cloud, and in between air is there. Air is an insulator, but when the clouds collide with each other, there is a lot of friction, creating, accumulating a lot of charge and increasing the temperature. As temperature increases a lot, the resistance decreases and current flows through the air. Very important. Increasing currents or increasing temperature in insulators make currents flow through them, and if we increase the temperature in metals or conductors, their current flow will decrease. Very important. Now, combination of resistances, very important. What if there are many resistances combined? Now we will do combination of resistance. What if we combine resistance? Very important. See, there are two types of combination possible. One is series combination and another one is parallel combination. What does this series combination mean? See, if there is a resistance, let's say R1, and I connect another resistance to its end, this is R2. One end is connected, they are connected end to end, but other two ends are not connected to each other, then they are known as in series. One resistance, another resistance, third resistance, four resistance. But if there are any resistance and both of the ends are same or joint, then this is known as parallel combination. Very important. In parallel combination, if this one is resistance R1 and this is R2, both of their ends are same or both of their ends are joined together, whereas in series combination only one end is joined and another end is not joined, whereas in parallel both the ends are joined. Okay, so now we will see what happens if I combine resistance in series and if I combine resistance in parallel connection. So first we will see series connection. Let's say there are three resistances, R1, R2 and R3, all of them connected in series, and there is a battery here. What I need to find out is that in this circuit, if resistances are connected in series, what overall effect they will be making. Getting it? If I combine resistance, what will happen? So let's say all these three show some effect. I don't know what effect is that, and that effect is RS. Let's say all these three is showing some effect RS, and now I will find out what is the value of this RS. See my dear students, current will flow from here, enter this path. Just take an example. If this is the same pipe, whatever water is entering in this pipe will be here, will be here, and will be here. Very important. Okay. It may be this is resistance, whatever, this is more, this is less. They will oppose. They will oppose. For example, let's say this is pipe. Here it is some blockage. Here the blockage is quite large. But the amount of water entering in this pipe, going from here, going from here, going from here, will be same. So similarly, the current I in the circuit, here it is also I, here it is also I, and here it is also I. Everywhere the current in the circuit is I. Very important. In series, current is same. See my difference, very important. Just opposite is in the parallel, and voltage gets divided. Very important. If this battery is having volt V, it will get divided into V1, here it will get divided into V2, and here it will get into V3. Different amount of work done to bring water here, here, and here. Very important. This voltage gets divided, current remains same. Very important. At this case, okay, this voltage has got divided into three parts. This voltage got divided into three parts: V1 plus V2 plus V3. So when we add these three parts, we will be getting the total voltage. So very important. What is V1 here? V equals to IR. So V1 equals to I into R1. V1 equals to I into R1. I put value here. I into R1. What is V2 here? I into R2. And what is V3 here? I into R3. This overall is showing the effect of RS. So what is this V, and current is I. So here the overall V equals to I into overall resistance, that is RS. That value I will put here, I into RS. Very important. You can see I is common. So I into RS equals to I. Let's take it common. R1 plus R2 plus R3. I cut. So this RS equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Very important. If we add resistance in series, then the overall resistance will be the algebraic sum of all. Very important. See, this is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. So overall the effect by them will be RS, and this RS is the algebraic sum of R1 plus R2 plus R3. Very important. Let's take an example. If R1 is 1 ohm, R2 is 2 ohm, and R3 is 3 ohm. So what will be their overall effect? Overall effect will be 1 ohm plus 2 ohm plus 3 ohm, that is overall effect will be 6 ohm. Very important. In series, overall resistance increases. Very important. 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, and overall is 6 ohm. Overall resistance increases. Very important. What is highest resistance is in this 3 ohm, and the overall resistance is 6 ohm. Very important. In series combination, overall resistance is always larger than the individual greatest value. It means, for example, whatever value this 1 ohm, 3 ohm, 1000 ohm, 100 ohm. So for sure my overall resistance will always be greater than 100 ohm. It means the overall resistance, very important, overall resistance increases. Second, it is always greater than, always larger than or greater than largest individual resistance. Very important. Whenever you do any calculation, for example I have written here 50 ohm, 60 ohm and 3 ohm. Whenever you will add this up, for sure overall resistance must be more or larger than 60 ohm, as it is larger than all other resistances, and in series overall resistance increases. Now let's in parallel. Parallel combination. Let's say there are three parallel resistors R1, R2 and R3. You can see all of their ends are joined together, and a power supply battery with voltage V. What I need to find out is that if I connect any resistance in parallel, what overall effect will be there? I need to find out that. Okay. So let's say they are having some overall effect of Rp. Okay. And this is the voltage V. Very important, my dear students. Current goes from here. If there is a pipe and I connect three pipes to them, for sure water will get divided. Similarly, if current is going, means charge is going, and charge is having three paths to go, automatically it will get divided. So here the current will get divided I1, I2 and I3. Very important. In parallel, current divides. Very important. In series it was same. Second important thing, in series potential got divided, but here potential remains same, my dear student. Very important. Potential remains same. See, in that V got divided into V1, V2, V3. Here I gets divided into I1 plus I2 plus I3. Whenever you do the derivation, you need to keep in mind in series V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Put the values, you will get the answer. In parallel, I equals to I1, I2 plus I3. Put the values, you will get the answer. Very important. V equals to IR. If R comes here, V by R equals to I. Okay. Here the current gets divided, but the potential V is same. Here it is also V, here it is also V, and here it is also V. So, what is I1 here? I1 equals to V upon R1. I1 equals to V upon R1. What is I2 here? I2 equals to V upon R2. V upon R2. And what is I3 here? It is V upon R3. What is this overall showing the effect of Rp? Current is I here. So what is V? Means what is I here? I equals to V upon Rp, and I will put this value here. So V upon Rp. Very important. Let's take V common. So V upon Rp equals to V upon 1 plus R1 upon 1 plus R2 upon 1 plus R3. V cut. So very important. 1 upon Rp equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Very important, my dear students. What mistake commonly students make is that whenever we are given to find out the value of this Rp, Students, only find out the value of 1 upon Rp. There is a lot of difference between Rp and 1 upon Rp. This is 1 upon Rp. Whenever you solve this, you need to reciprocate it to get the value of Rp. Don't make this common mistake. Okay. Let's say this is 1 ohm here. This is also 1 ohm here and 1 ohm here. So if someone says me what is the overall value of resistance, overall effect they are showing is Rp. So what is 1 upon Rp equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So 1 upon Rp equals to 1 upon R1 is 1 plus 1 upon R2 is 1 plus 1 upon 1. My dear student, very important. 1 upon Rp equals to 1 plus 1 that is 3 upon 1. This is not my answer. I need to find out Rp, not 1 upon Rp. Reciprocate it. That is Rp upon 1 equals to 1 upon 3. Rp upon 1 is Rp. So Rp equals to 1 upon 3 equals to 0.33 ohm. Very important. The overall effect will be 0.33 ohm. Very important. See my dear students. And the lowest value is 1. All of them are 1. This is only the highest and lowest value. But you can see the lowest value is even lesser than. Overall value is even lesser than the lowest value. So very important. In parallel, overall resistance decreases. Very important. In parallel, overall resistance decreases. Second thing is that the in parallel value is lesser than lowest individual value. Let me give you an example. 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. If it is connected in series, so just get a hint, this is the highest value, the overall answer will be larger than this. And if it is connected in parallel series combination increases the resistance, parallel decreases the resistance. If 1 ohm, 2 and 3 ohm are connected in parallel, for sure the parallel overall effect will be lesser than the least value. Very important, my dear students. Okay, now we will see in domestic circuits what are the losses and benefits of series and parallel combination. This is series combination and it is parallel combination. See my dear students, if this is R1, this is R2 and this is R3 and this is parallel R1, R2, R3. Okay. In series, if first of all this is a single path, same path, so if there is any switch, if I switch it on, all of them will get switched. So you cannot control all the things individually. That is, if in my home fan, bulb, TV, if I put on the fan, all the things will get switched on. And if I switch off the fan, all the things will get switched off. Means I cannot control them individually. But at our home, it is a parallel combination. Means here a switch for fan, here a switch for bulb, here a switch for TV. If these two are open circuit or these two are switch off and this one is switch on, so current will pass through here and go. And we can control individually. This is benefit of parallel combination. But in parallel combination, wire required is quite more. Here more wire is required, and in series only single wire. So less wire is required. That's why you might have seen the Diwali lightnings. In Diwali lightnings, it is a series combination. Okay, and our at home this is parallel combination. Moreover, in series, as overall resistance is large, it gets added up, so current gets less. But here the resistance becomes less, so current flows very easily. Why? Because overall resistance is less, and at each and every corner current will easily be reaching. But in series combination, here current will reach, here it will reach, but overall resistance will increase so much that the current passing through this circuit will be very less. So at our home we are using parallel combination. Why? We can individually control all the things. If something gets fused off, other two will not get fused off, or means they will work normally. Here I cannot control individually. If this get fused off, circuit breaks, these two will also will not be in use. Length of wire used is less in series, and length of wire used in parallel is quite more. Okay, my dear students, now we will see power. What is power? Power or power, whatever. Power. Let's say one person A and another person B. 5 kg, let's say 50 kg, 50 kg. They need to take this 50 kg 100 meter. This one also need to take 50 kg 100 meter. Same weight, same distance. This person very easily take this stuff 50 kg 100 meter in 10 seconds. And this person is very weak, he is even not able to pick it up, and taking a lot of time, and it took almost 5 minutes and reached there. What we will say here? Don't you have any power? Don't you have any strength? It means power is something which needs to consider work done along with time. How much work is done in how much time gives me the hint of power. Power equals to rate of work done. How much work is done in how much time? So power equals to work done upon time taken to complete that work. Very important. That is power P equals to W upon T. Very important. The unit of power is watt. Symbol used is W. 1000 watt equals to 1 kilowatt. As 1000 meter equals to 1 meter. 1000 meter equals to 1 kilometer. Similarly, 1000 watt equals to 1 kilowatt. Very important, my dear students. What is power? Power equals to work done upon time. Okay, this is formula. Unit of power is watt. Unit of work done is joule. Unit of time is second. Very important. What is 1 watt? 1 upon 1 gives me 1. 1 watt is the power in which 1 joule work is done in 1 second. You might have seen 100 watt bulb or 50 watt bulb. It means that bulb is doing work of 100 watt in 1 second. 50 watt bulb is doing work of 50 joule in 1 second. Moreover, this work done is also called as energy consumed upon time taken. 100 watt bulb means 100 watt of work is done, means it is also consuming 100 watt of energy. 100 watt of electrical energy is consumed in 1 second. Power equals to work done upon time. Work, what does work require? Energy. So it is also giving hint how much energy is consumed in how much time. More is the power, that instrument will use more energy. Very important. Power equals to energy consumed upon time. Very important. At our home, we are paying electricity bills. Very important. For example, if I have not used anything at my home, so after 1 month I will be having zero electricity bill. But I am having many instruments. Having instrument, we are not paying for the having instrument or having the powerful instruments. We are paying for the energy consumed. How much electricity we have consumed, we are paying for that. And this very important, we are paying for these bills. So power equals to energy consumed upon time. If it comes here, it will get multiplied. Power into time equals to energy consumed or work done. I am paying how much work I am making these instruments to do. If I am having a healthy labor and he is sitting idle, I will not give him money. I will give him money for doing work. Similarly, power equals to work upon time. It will come here and get multiplied. Power into time equals to work done. I am paying money for bills for this work done, or in another sense the energy consumed. Why? To do work energy is required, and that energy is being given by electricity which is coming from the supply. Very important. What is a commercial unit? Commercial unit. We are getting our electricity ideas how much you have consumed by units. Today it was 7 unit, or you have consumed 500 units, you need to pay for 500 units. So this 500 unit is nothing, but it is the energy consumed or work done. So very important, unit of power is kilowatt, into unit of time is hour. So kilowatt hour is the unit of energy or work done, and it is this unit of energy and work done is also called as commercial unit. Very important. 1 kilowatt hour, kilowatt equals to 1000 watt, into 1 hour equals to 3600 seconds. So 1 kilowatt hour equals to 3.6 or 36123. Okay, 1 2 3 4 and 5 equals to 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 4 joules. Very important. That is 1 kilowatt hour equals to 3.6. Okay, just 1 2 3 4 5. 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 joules. Very important, my dear students. 1 unit equals to 1 kilowatt hour equals to this much joules. It means if I say I have consumed 1 unit, I mean to say I have consumed this much energy, that is 360000 joules. Very important. Okay. See, my dear students, power equals to work done upon time. As we all know, what is volt? Volt equals to work done per unit charge. Yes or no? So what is work done? V into Q equals to W. Put this value of W work done here. So what is power? Power equals to V into Q upon T. Very important. I equals to Q upon T. Okay, so what is Q? I into T equals to Q. Put the value of Q here. P equals to V into Q. Instead of Q, I'll put I into T upon T. T cut. So P equals to V I. Very important. See, my dear students, power equals to work done upon time taken equals to energy upon time taken, energy consumed upon time taken. equals to VI. See, V equals to IR. Put value of V from Ohm's law here. We will get V equals to power equals to VI equals to I square R. If you put I equals to V by R, then V square upon R. Very important. These all are the formulas of power. Power equals to work done upon time equals to energy consumed upon time equals to V into I equals to I square into R equals to V square upon R. You need to mug up all these formulas. Okay, my dear students, today now we will do Joule's law of heating. Yeah, Joule's law of heating. See, my dear students, current we cannot see, but it always shows some effect. Those effect are magnetic effect, chemical effect, and heating effect. Means if there is current, for sure it will be showing a magnetic effect. We will be doing this effect in the magnetic effects of electric current, a chapter of physics in 10th standard itself. Chemical effect, we have already done the electrolysis process in 8th standard. Again we will be doing this chemical effect in metals and non-metals chapter. And third effect is heating. It means if current is there, for sure these things you will observe. You will see a magnetic effect, you will see a heating effect, you will see a chemical effect. As of now we will only do the chemical effect. Means for sure if there is current, means current is there, it means charges are flowing. Yes or no? Charges are flowing. If charges are flowing for 110%, when something move, what happens? Friction happens. Very important. If something move, friction will happen. And if friction happens, for sure what will happen? Heating. When friction is being done, what we get is heating. So for current, if any current is flowing, for sure there will be heating. Guaranteed. Whether that heating is very less or very more depends on the timing and all. So very important. What is Joule's law of heating? Joule's law of heating states that heating in any material depends on amount of current in it. Heating depends on current. More is the current, more is the heating. It depends on square of the current, directly proportional. Moreover, heating depends on resistance. See, if current is flowing, more is the resistance, more is the opposing, more will be the friction, more will be the heating. So heating depends on resistance, resistance depends on material. Heating also depends on the time for which current is flowing. See, rubbing for 3 seconds, heating is there. Friction for half an hour, more heating will be there. So for more amount the current is flowing, the time, amount of time, the period of time, if it is more, heating will be more. If the period of time is less, the heating will be less. So what does Joule's law of heating says that heating is directly proportional to square of current, heating is directly proportional to resistance of current, and heating is directly proportional to time for which current flows. That is, if you combine these all, heating is directly proportional to I square RT, and if I remove this proportionality constant, put equals to sign, there will be a constant which value is having 1. So I equals to I square RT, that is heating equals to I square RT. See, I have removed this proportionality and put equals to, and the constant I have put is here 1. So 1 into I square into R into T, when anything multiplied by 1, the answer is same. So H equals to I square RT. Very important. What Joule's law of heating state it states that heating in any conductor or any material is directly proportional to the current flowing in it. Square of the current flowing in it is proportional to the material's resistance and proportional to for the how much time the current is flowing. This is only our Joule's law of heating. Okay, Joule's law of heating, it says H equals to I square RT. Very simple. When we see a TV for 1 to 2 hours, you can easily observe that it has become hot. Why? The current had flowed for a larger time. More is the current. See, if we use this much battery to heat up anything, can you heat up the heater? Never. For heating the heater means for large heat, you require large current. That's why you never use this much cell. You use the high power supply to heat up the heater. Resistance. More is the resistance of the material, more will be the heating. See my dear friends, let us take examples. H directly proportional to I square, H directly proportional to R and H directly proportional to T. Along with the examples, I will also tell you the applications of heating. See my dear students, if current is there, guarantee. If current is there, for guarantee heating will be there. Okay. Best example of heating is one is heating appliances. Heating appliances. Example is geyser, electric oven, electric iron. These all things produce a lot of heating. Why? Because their current in them is large, their resistance is large. See my dear students, current is coming in copper wire. Now I am having my electric iron here. Again the current is leaving copper wire. See, this copper is having resistance, but the resistance is very less, so here the heating is less. But as it enters the electric iron, the material changes. The current flows through this material. This material is an alloy. Very important. This is having very high resistance. So as resistance is quite large, it produces a lot of heating. Yes or no? I only require heating at this place. So again when current leaves the electric iron, the normal copper wire is there, resistance is less is the heating. Very important, we could have used a metal here, a high resistance metal, but we don't use metals in heating material. Why? Because if I will use metal, it will react with oxygen. It will react with oxygen at high temperatures and it will get corroded or rusting will take place. Corrosion. It will get corroded. What is a corrosion? When metal reacts with oxygen, this is known as corrosion. And because of corrosion, this material will just get eaten up. Eaten up means this will become powder like and this metal will get destroyed. But if I use alloys, what is alloys? Alloys are mixture of metals. 2 or 3 metals combined, melted, mixed and made a alloy. Why? Because alloy never react with oxygen at higher temperature. So these alloys will not react and our this material is safe. It will not get corroded. Second application, see, these electrical appliances are having high current ratings to produce high heating. They are having high resistance to produce more heating. I want less heating, so less resistance. See, I at few places I require heating and few places I don't require heating. So the place where I don't require heating, I use low resistance material, and the place where I require more heating, I take high resistance material. See, whenever you iron it, it doesn't mean you switched on and switched off and all of a sudden it will get heat up. No, you need to consume time. Why? More time is there, more will be the heating. If time equals to 0 second, no heating. You need to let this current flow for a considerable time. More is the time, more will be the heating. Less is the time, less will be the heating. Another use of this is bulb. Nowadays we are using filament CFL. This is a bulb. Bulb is having very thin filament. As this is very much thin, the cross sectional area is very less, so its resistance is very high. Resistance is large, very important. More is the resistance, high will be the heating, and due to heating, it starts glowing and it gives out light. But very important, my dear students, I require bulb for light, not for heating. So in bulbs there is a lot of wastage of energy into heat. I don't want heating, I want a light. But in previous times this was the only thing we had as an option. So we used to use filament made up of tungsten metal. This tungsten metal have high resistance and does not melt on high resistance, and it gives light. And moreover in bulb it is having non-reactive gases, non-reactive gases, or we can say noble gases. They don't react. Why? They don't react with this metal, and this metal does not get corroded, and our bulb keeps on glowing. Very important use is fuse. One very important use is, my dear student, is fuse. What is a fuse? It is a safety device. See how this safety device works is that, as we all know, if this is my home or house, we are having TV here, we are having mobile getting charged here, we are having washing machines, we are having many electrical appliances. Current is coming into here, going back. Less is the current, less is the heating. But many times, if from power station by some technical mistake, a lot of current will come. See, if current gets doubled, square of it effect is on heat, means it will get 4 times large more. If it is 3 times, will get 9 times heating. So even if by mistake current increases a bit, there will be a lot of heating and my house may catch fire. So what we do is we use fuse. Fuse. What is a fuse? See, fuse we put in the series, in the connection. When the current enters, we put it in our supply. Fuse is having a very thin metal piece. As the metal is thin, less is the cross section area, high is the resistance. Resistance is high. So if current is going, it gets heated up. But if large current goes from here and it is having high resistance, if current increases a bit, it will get heated up a lot, and as it is thin, it will get melt up. So see what happens. Normal current is there. This fuse can means accept this much heat. But if current increases a bit, this melts up and the circuit is broken and the current doesn't enter our house and our house is safe. Nowadays we are using MCB. Instead of fuse, now we are using MCB. MCB is miniature circuit breaker. It is working on the magnetic effect, but as of now we will only see the fuse. So these all are the uses of heat by current.